Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Stat Ninja. Today I want to share with you my feelings on the DC universe versus the Marvel universe, and if DC should just give it up and start over. Uh, let's get to the numbers here. First of all, DC's only made 5 movies, so these the only numbers I have compared to the Marvel universe, which has released 20 movies in the last 10 years. Uh, you'll see the difference here. So I did what I did is I broke it down into averages to get a better picture of like what movie is doing better, the DC ones or the Marvel per movie. So the average gross income for DC movies is $753 million. The average gross income for Marvel movies is $875 million, which is way impressive because they have more movies. They have 20 movies. Some movies can bring it down, other movies can bring that price up, but overall, still to be 122 million ahead is pretty darn good. The average production cost for DC is 219 million per movie versus the average production cost of 195 million per Marvel movie. So they're not only making movies that bring in more money, they're making movies that cost $24 million less per movie when they produce them. Uh, the average profit for DC movies is 533 million. That's after we take out the production costs. The average profit for Marvel movies is 679 million, which leaves them a difference of $146 million more per movie that Marvel is making. The average Rotten Tomatoes score for DC movies is 48.6%. The average Rotten Tomatoes score for Marvel is 83.95. The audience score is 72%, and the audience score for Marvel is 83.45%. So, what I would like to point out with the audience score and the tomato score is that if you look at the one for Marvel, the the averages are almost identical. 83.95 versus 83.45, and then when you come over to Rotten Tomatoes, it's 48.6 versus 72%. So in that aspect, is there a bias uh, from Rotten Tomatoes against the DC universe? I would have to say there is, only because it just seems like Rotten Tomatoes sides with movies that uh, cater to social justice warriors and liberals. And let's face it, DC is built around a character named Superman, who's a white guy who's born in America, in Kansas, and is a Christian and is a conservative Christian to boot. So yeah, those are all the things the left hates about America. So it would be only understandable that Rotten Tomato would give them such low scores. And just to point that out here, if I go to my movies here that I have ranked, all 25 movies, you'll see the one that sits on the very bottom is The Incredible Hulk. It made the least amount of money out of all the 25 movies, yet its Rotten Tomato score was a 67%. Now look at all these DC movies that beat the Hulk. 40%, that's the Justice League. 55%, Man of Steel. Suicide Squad, 28%. Now come on. That's like ridiculous. I saw Suicide Squad. I didn't think it was that bad. The only part I really didn't care for was that officer in there. Not the officer, but the one villain. I think his name was what the hell was it? Boomerang, who punched or laid out that one cop lady. Only because they got to push just this idea that women are equal to men in everything, and so a woman can take a punch just as good as a man, so it's okay to hit a woman in a movie. I don't know. I just didn't care for that. But anyway, look, go to Batman versus Superman. Now, Batman versus Superman and Suicide Squad, 27 and 28%. And if anybody saw The Incredible Hulk, that movie sucked. It was incredibly horrible. The plot was bad. The villain was horrible. I fell asleep like halfway through the movie. And it's not like the clips that you see on YouTube today, where everything's been like digitally enhanced where you can actually see what's going on. When that movie first came out, it was so dark, like you couldn't barely see anything. I mean, you needed like night vision goggles to see that movie. But anyway, that's just how bad the Hulk was. But it still got a 67% from Rotten Tomatoes when it came out, versus 27 and 28% for Batman versus Superman and Suicide Squad. So yeah, there's a definite bias, and unfortunately, Rotten Tomatoes does have a say on how well a movie's going to do for a lot of people. If they look at the Rotten Tomatoes score and are like, "Oh, 27%, better not go watch that movie," it's definitely going to affect their sales. Uh, Amazingly, not to be so they couldn't be hypocrites. They had to give Wonder Woman a high score because it was a female role in a leading role. So she got a 93%, and then that's the one time the audience gave a lower score of 88%. So Wonder Woman wasn't a bad movie either. But if we go up to the top six movies that all had a gross income of over $1 billion, it's all Marvel. Infinity Wars, Avengers, The Avengers Age of Ultron, Black Panther, which I saw that movie. Look at that. They gave it a 97%. That's just horrible. I thought that movie sucked. I didn't really care for it. It was just hyped up so much because it was like the first supposed black, person that was going to be the lead role for a superhero movie, which is totally not true. Everybody forgot about Blade. He had three movies. That was like 20 years ago, but nobody cared about that. The audience actually gave it a 79%. It should have been it should have been lower than that. It wasn't that good. It was really hyped up, but it got 1.146 billion in profit. Iron Man 3, I don't know. I thought that movie was bad. Captain America Civil War, I thought that was actually a really good movie. But if you look through all the Rotten Tomato scores for all the Marvel movies, 67% is the lowest. They're all like in the 90s, 80s, and 70s. And these kind of pinkish lines I have here indicate the DC movies. So you see where they fall. The best movie DC released, gross income wise, or gross profit wise, or profit wise anyway, was Wonder Woman. And she only ranks ninth. So she had a total profit of 672 million. She did beat Guardians of the Galaxy. That's pretty impressive. She beat a lot of other decent movies like Captain America Winter Soldier. But what's interesting is like even when Captain America Winter Soldier came out, he had gross sales of 370 million and had a profit of 153 million. So back at the time, that was good enough for them to say, "Yeah, we got a good deal here. We're gonna run with Captain America, in the Marvel universe," because those were supposedly good numbers at the time. But now we see how everything is when it's compared to something else. So actually, Captain America was just above Hulk. So Captain America and Hulk are the least favorite uh, characters in the Marvel universe if we go by movie profits. But when they bring them together, they're breaking the $1 billion mark. Over $2 billion in income, gross income for Infinity War, 1.6 billion profit. But let's go back to the comparison here. Uh, Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, Cyborg, Wonder Woman 1984, Green Lantern Corps, The Batman, The Flash. These are all upcoming movies. And if you see, it's 2018, Shazam's 2019, and then heck, you got four right here that are going to come out in 2020. The Batman and the Flash are to be announced. So versus Marvel, Marvel's like, we're just picking dates and we're gonna pump movies out on that day because like all they have all these release dates, but they have no titles for the movies that they're gonna release. They don't even care anymore. They made so much freaking money. You know, total profits for DC 2.6 billion versus 13.5 billion. I even projected DC if they actually made 20 movies, they would make around $10 billion as well. If their stats stayed the same, their averages right here. So In my opinion, like with the Henry Cavill ordeal, with him possibly not being Superman anymore, and his talk about bringing Michael B. Jordan in, I just think it would be a horrible idea to lose Henry Cavill. Hopefully, they can work something out where they get to keep him because it just isn't going to be the same without him. Uh, we could go, without Ben Affleck and put in another actor for that. But for Henry Cavill, he's just the ideal person to play Superman in this DC universe. And I mean, I know Marvel replaced two of its characters, War Machine and the Hulk. They replaced the characters for them, but they weren't really. Hulk was kind of a major character, but more people care about seeing him green, than his actual human form. So I think that's why they were able to so easily replace him and not really see any uh, throwback from that replacement. But oh, this is it's not good for DC. I mean, at least they're making money. They made $2.6 billion, which is a lot of money. And as you can see, they are planning to make more movies. This Birds of Prey, I don't even care for that. But let's go to Shazam first. Shazam is like it looks more like a kids movie. I know it's their idea of kind of like Marvel's uh, Deadpool. They're just going off with him in a different direction, even though he's kind of part of the DC universe. But I just can't see this Shazam that they're marketing right now as being in a serious movie with like Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, and Aquaman, and Cyborg. I mean, they're just totally. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think that movie's gonna do so hot. Plus, it's coming out in April, and Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel's for Marvel is coming out in March, kind of around the beginning of March. Um, it's kind of strange since Captain Marvel is Shazam, and then you got a Captain Marvel movie coming out in March and a Captain Marvel basically movie coming out in April. But I don't know. I think the only benefit DC has sticking with their movies right now uh, is the fact that after Infinity Wars is over, it's going to be kind of hard to top that, and I can see that with their plan that they have going ahead. They have these movie release dates, but the movies aren't even titled yet. They don't even really. I don't think they know what to do because they have to build another storyline now. And what storyline are they going to do? I think one idea that's going to play a major role in this is the see this 20th Century Fox. This it's represented by the blue. They have Deadpool, the X Men, Wolverine, Cable, and all that. They're going to own 20th Century Fox soon, so they'll be able to incorporate these characters in with Marvel Studios. And the good thing about that is because they're releasing Captain Marvel in March, she's more associated with the X Men, especially like the Phoenix and the Kree Empire. Uh, that's more of an X Men thing, but they can bring them all together now. And there's some pretty decent storylines with the Avengers and the X Men together. Especially against like Phoenix and such. But oh, I don't know. To me, I just see the future for DC. They're just gonna make movies to pump out, just to make money basically. And they're this Birds of Prey. I don't know how they're gonna incorporate that with any you know important storyline. Then you got Wonder Woman 1984 coming out. I mean, in that one scene, it looks like she's staring at the TVs, like she's kind of like uh, worried that what she's seen on TV because it looks, out of place and that. So I'm wondering if that is going to fall in line with the Flash because at first they were calling the Flash the Flashpoint. Well, they were calling it the Flash, then they switched it to the Flashpoint, and then now they're going to call it the Flash again. So I'm wondering if there's some kind of time issue thing that they're going to push in the Flash movie, and this Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be a part of that in a certain type of way. But I think if they just I don't see how this is all going to come together. Wonder Woman 1984, then they're releasing the Green Lantern Corps, the Batman to be announced, the Flash to be announced. Unknowns, we got Supergirl, Suicide Squad 2, Batgirl, Nightwing, Man of Steel 2, Black Adam, Deathstroke, Lobo, New Gods, which is basically Darkseid and, against his, I think it's his brother who has the other, who are the good gods or whatever. I don't know. I don't see how they're going to bring a story together with this. I really don't. If they're going off the basis of the Flashpoint comic book story, then maybe they have a shot of making a really good story. But I don't see them doing that. I think they're just going to pump out movies, and just like they're doing with the Joker. That's like an individual movie that's separate from the DC universe. Um, I don't know. It doesn't look too exciting for me for the DC universe. And then after Marvel, after Avengers 4, I don't see much going on for the Marvel universe either. So, uh, should DC just give up? Um, no, they probably won't since they're still making money. But I wouldn't look for anything great to come out from the DC side. Marvel, at least all I can say for Marvel, we have a lot to look forward to up until Infinity Wars, and after that, it's just basically who knows what they're gonna do. So, but yeah, DC. At least there's some hope for you. I mean, I can't see the big picture here with what they're gonna do with all these weird movies. I mean, we already had the Justice League, so it just seems so weird to come out with a Cyborg and Wonder Woman and Batman and Flash, and I don't know. So anyway, leave your thoughts and comments below what you think is going to happen with the DC universe and what you think they're going to do next for the Marvel universe. I'm really excited to see what Marvel is going to do. I'm a big fan of both. I wish they'd both do well, but Marvel's the one that's doing it better. They're doing it way better. They're making more money, spending less money to make it happen, and they're providing better material and content. And the DC, unfortunately, their only gem is Wonder Woman, and I don't know what's going to happen. Especially with if Henry Cavill, if they can't get him back, then it's over. I think for the DC universe. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you later. If you liked it, hit subscribe down below and share. All right, have a good one. Bye.